Welcome to the Dr. Ashley Show. I'm Dr. Ashley, and today we are going to dive into a 7-day protocol that is better than Ozempic. It'll help you burn fat, crush cravings, and reset your energy. And it actually works. It's drug-free, it's side effect-free, and I'm going to walk you through each day step by step. And by the end, you could drop up to 10, 15 pounds without injections, without medications, and most importantly, without muscle loss. If this is the first time you've seen or listened to one of my videos, I'm Dr. Ashley. I'm the owner and founder of PhD Weight Loss. I'm a PhD nutritionist and a registered dietitian. And to date, we have helped over 10,500 people drop significant weight and keep it off for good. And my goal with this channel is to give you the evidence-backed information you need to be able to create positive impact in your own life. So let's dive into the 7-day protocol that's going to help you burn fat, crush cravings, and reset your energy. By now, you've likely heard about Ozempic, also called semaglutide, Mounjaro, tirzepatide, all pretty much the same thing. These are GLP-1 drugs, and they are created to mimic GLP-1 that our gut naturally secretes. It is a hormone that helps to make you feel full. It reduces your appetite. So folks taking these GLP-1 drugs simply are eating less because they're not hungry. Now, the positive thing about these drugs is it does help people drop weight, but the downside to these drugs are so significant. I see this every day because we have so many people coming to PhD weight loss right now, either on these drugs and afraid to get off. They've been on the drugs and they've gained the weight back plus more, or they just don't want to go on another medication to drop weight. Their goal is to drop weight so that they can instead get off of medications. They're witnessing significant muscle loss, nausea, diarrhea, thyroid issues, and the majority of people, once they get off the drug, regain it all within a year. I actually had someone message me last week saying that they've got swelling in their legs, they've got thyroid issues, extremely high leptin levels, and leptin is our hunger hormone. So their hunger is through the roof and they are just a mess and they are really struggling. You do not need these drugs to get the benefit. What we can do is we can teach the body how to do it on its own, reset its own GLP-1 levels so that you can still get the same positive benefits, because when your body secretes its own GLP-1, it does so in a natural cascade that influences the body in the way that it is meant to be influenced. So all of the other hormones are responding to it in a natural, organic way. So that's what the ultimate goal is. Now, if you have struggled with your weight and you are one of these groups of people, either you don't want to take GLP-1, you've taken it and you're afraid to get off of it, or you've gotten off of it and the weight just is coming back and you really want a natural approach to doing this where you don't have hunger, you don't have food noise, something that is totally sustainable but natural, you should check out PhD Weight Loss. Just go into the description and there will be a link where you can learn more. Let's dive into the 7-day protocol. If you want to take a longer period of time with each step, then do that and it will be just as effective, maybe even more so. So I'm going to be talking in the timestamp of days, but you could do this in number of weeks or even months. So days 1 to 2, you're going to focus on removing inflammation and restoring your cellular function. So to do this, you're going to eliminate sugar and seed oils. By seed oils, I mean canola, corn, cottonseed, safflower, sunflower, soybean, rice bran, grapeseed, rapeseed. Instead, when you cook with oils, I'd love for you to focus on avocado oil or maybe coconut oil. You could use a little bit of butter. I really do love olive oil, specifically first cold pressed olive oil, but it's not really stable at high heat cooking. So you'd more use that for cold use, like with a salad dressing. Now, if you're interested on when to use what specific fats that will benefit your body most, I've got a free guide for you that you can download. It's called the Dietary Fats for Cooking, and I'll make sure to put this as a link in the description of this video on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And then you're gonna want to swap those anti-inflammatory fats for the fats that I talk about in this guide, like butter, ghee, avocado oil, olive oil. You want to focus on eating only single ingredient whole foods if you can. So foods that have no labels, no hidden additives. So for example, if you're going to eat meat, it's going to be some steak or some chicken. Then you're going to add some veggies into that with butter or olive oil on top of it. If you like a sprinkling of cheese on top, Parmesan cheese, like stuff that's very simple rather than out of a box or a bag. I do want to put a side note in here. If you are a PhD weight loss client or you come into PhD and check us out, we do provide some of the meals and some snacks. Some of these foods come in a bag or a box. And we do this because these foods act as a tool. It's like little baby steps, and we really help folks break addiction, shift their metabolism, reset their metabolism with the help of these foods. They are a guide to get you from point A to point B. And the majority of folks coming into PhD weight loss, the most toxic thing that their body is struggling with is this visceral belly fat. Now, I have a video where I talk about visceral belly fat, and you should definitely check it out. This belly fat is active. These fat cells in your belly are secreting hormones that are so toxic to the body and create major inflammation, much more inflammation than any kind of food product might cause. So what we're focusing on is the big juicy frog. We're taking away the big frog, the first issue, the main issue, which is the belly fat. And then once we're able to break addictions, break food and sugar addiction, we're able to create a metabolic shift in the body and reset the metabolism. Then we gradually release these foods. Throughout the entire journey, you're still using your own whole foods as well. So it's very healthy, very nutrient dense. That's why folks who drop weight with PhD weight loss feel good, look good, not a lot of sagging skin. We don't look at calorie restriction. We're making sure that you got all the macros, the protein, the vitamins and minerals you need. These foods are just a tool. We've served over 10,500 people drop massive weight, over 466,000 pounds nationwide. The approach works and it makes it very simple and reliable. In addition, you're going to want to make sure that you stay hydrated with spring water, with mineral water. You could add sea salt. I love Celtic sea salt to support electrolytes. You could also check out my Electrolyte Plus mix. It's Dr. Ashley Wellness. I crafted this Electrolyte Plus mix specifically for people who are going through the process of dropping weight. Dropping weight is a stressor on the body. It's great for the body. You're going to heal a lot of things. However, the process on it, the body is working. So you need to make sure that you've got the correct electrolytes, vitamins, minerals to support the process. And that's exactly why I created this Electrolyte Plus mix. Make sure to check out Dr. Ashley Wellness, the link in the description, and we will provide you a special discount for checking it out today. Days 3 and 4 is a focus on switching the body into a fat burning mode. How we do this is we play around with your macros, and the number one important macro that significantly impacts how we metabolize all other nutrients in the body is carbohydrate. Carbohydrates aren't bad, but they have the most impact on how we metabolize everything else, so we've got to talk about them. And for most people struggling with excess fat weight, specifically around the belly, we want to drop carbs to about 50 to 80 grams a day, depending upon the person, your gender, your goals, how fit you are, how active you are, your age. But that usually is going to be the range as to where we would like to start. You're going to add some liver supporting foods because the liver is what supports fat burn. This is where fat burn happens. So this could be like dandelion leaves or dandelion root. You could get a dandelion tea, arugula, lemon water, artichokes, apple cider vinegar. A good tip is to drink about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar diluted in water about 30 minutes before a meal to help stabilize blood sugar. And then you could think about a little bit of a time restricted eating. So what I mean by this is giving the body some time where it's not metabolizing food. Just let it have a break. So for most people, a good goal is to give the body 12 hours between your last meal of the day and the next meal in the morning of the following day. So for example, let's say you finish dinner at about 7 p.m., then you're not going to want to eat again until 7 a.m. the next morning to give your body time to get into the state of fat burn. Now, what's important to understand is that everyone's metabolism moves at a different speed, and for some people, it takes them longer than 12 hours to get into the state of fat burn. So you might want a 16-hour window of not eating and then an 8-hour window of eating. That's called a 16-8 fast. fast. And if you really want to dive more into fasting, I do have a video where I talk all about the different options, how to do it. So come on over to YouTube if you're not already here and check out the link in the description, and you can learn a lot more about the science behind intermittent fasting. Days 5 through 6, you're going to supercharge fat loss and improve energy. To do this, there are 4 things that you can focus on. Focus on that 16-hour window of fasting and that 8-hour window of eating, making sure you're getting adequate protein when you are eating. Keep your amount of carbohydrates around 50 to 80 grams and maybe lower it down on the lower end and focus on protein and healthy fats. Support your mitochondria by consuming magnesium, about 400 to 600 milligrams of magnesium. Always check with your doctor first before incorporating a new supplement, but the majority of people are deficient in magnesium. I suggest taking magnesium at night, and I like glycinate or threonate. Citrate is another good form of magnesium, and you could take this if you trend more on the constipated side of things because it's going to help to loosen things up. Natural Calm is a brand that I like around magnesium citrate, and you can make a hot tea out of it, or you can go the capsule route with glycinate or threonate, and I like Thorne as a good clean brand. And then a daily B vitamin complex is something good to focus on, and I would do that more in the morning and afternoon with food. And then walk 10,000 steps every day. Not 5 days a week, but every day. Try to hit those 10,000 steps. And if you can, focus on walking after your meals. It will help to reduce your blood glucose levels. There's been studies showing that it can reduce your blood glucose levels by 33% just going for a 10-minute walk after a meal. And then day 7 is where you're focusing on your cellular health. So you could play with a 24-hour water fast, only water or unflavored tea or black coffee. I wouldn't do this too frequently, but you can play around with it and see how your body does. It will help your body just restore its gut, restore its cells, really tap into the ability to store fat for fuel. Now, if you feel that when you fast, you overcompensate, and what I mean by this is that you just overeat during the eating window or the next few days, you just can't get enough food, then that means your body is not wired for fasting at the moment, and that's okay. You can still get all of the great benefits that we talked about in the other areas of focus, and you don't have to fast. So I want you to listen to your body, and if it's saying no, and it's saying no by overcompensating, being really hungry over the next few days, then don't push yourself to fast if it doesn't feel good. Now, if you want some additional support in this fat burning process and you find that your body responds well to supplementation, you might want to check out my supplement. It's called GlucoCut Plus, and I created this supplement to help folks during the weight loss journey stabilize their blood sugar levels, to help reduce cravings, and to help support the GLP-1 pathways so that you feel full longer, and meanwhile, most importantly, help to preserve muscle mass so that the majority of what you are burning is fat, not muscle. If GlucoCut Plus interests you, check out the link in the description and we'll have a special discount code for you. You've got it. You've got your 7-day protocol to enhance fat burn, to reduce cravings, and to reset your energy.